What is going on YouTube? Jay here from Maji and Jay. Today super excited to come here with the second generation of the F series from UMIDIGI. This is called the F2, and approximately 11 months ago I did the unboxing and the review of the F1. It was a great device at a very decent price, and that's exactly what we have here. Now we got 128 gigabytes of internal memory. Before it was just 64. The battery is still the same. It's a 5150 milliamp battery, but we do get a better processor. It has the Helio P70 processor, but the Mali G72. So that's definitely an improvement for gaming and multitasking, especially nowadays in 2020. We have a lot of heavy games coming out. So yes, having this type of specifications, it is still by no means this is a flagship killer. This is considered, again, a mid-range device for sure, but it is again a very good one. So if we look here on the back side, last year we had Android 9, which was Pie, and this year we have Android 10, which is right there. And we can see that it has, again, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage. Now this is a very cool upgrade with the dual SIM capability. Now it has actually dual SIM slots separated from the TF card, so you can do 2 SIM cards and a TF card all at the same time. We have seen in the past where if you add a TF card, you're going to be disabling one of the SIM card trays. That's not going to be the case here with the F2 series, so again, that's definitely an improvement. Here we have the battery, as I mentioned, 5150. It has a 6.53 inch display, Full HD, with a resolution of 2340 by 1080, and I believe it has 401 ppi. Again, very decent panel. It is not AMOLED or OLED. It is an LCD panel, but it's still, the colors are very vivid. We're going to be seeing that here in just a second. Yes, I did open the device just to make sure that everything was working properly, and this came from Amazon, so I overpaid a little bit. I think I got it for $249, but there are coupons and things available, and other websites do have it a little bit cheaper than that. So it does work well with T-Mobile. As a matter of fact, on the reviews, there's a lot of people who comment about that. For some reason, T-Mobile LTE bands seem to be different, or way different from AT&T or any other carrier here in the USA. But this device does support a lot of the global LTE bands, and that's definitely a plus as well. It doesn't have 5G, unfortunately, and it comes with 4 cameras in the back. We have a 48 with AI technology, a 13 for wide angle, and we have 2 more. I think they are 5 megapixels, and on the front we have a 32 megapixel sensor camera with AI technology as well. So as you can tell, guys, on paper it definitely sounds appealing, and as always we have a UMIDIGI thank you card right here, again giving us here a little message that they really appreciate our business with them. That's very nice. And here we have the little monster. Now, unfortunately, this device still doesn't have wireless charging. It does have NFC, and it does have, you know, a decent battery. I was able to get more than a day of usage with this particular device, and it does support quick charge. It comes with an 18-watt brick here. Let me show you that real quick. By the way, this is the screen protector that came with it. Again, bragging about some of the specifications that it carries. We have the USB-C cable, and it comes here with a fast charger, again 18 watts, and it is designed here for the USA. I believe that if you do order this from a Chinese website, it is not going to have the American charger. You're gonna have to get the adapter. But anyways, here we have the specifications of this particular brick, and again, nothing special, but it does the job quite well. I believe it charges your phone in about 1 hour and 45 minutes approximately, so that's not too bad. So that's all we get here for the accessories. By the way, inside here we have a little envelope where it contains the manuals and the quick start guide and all that crap that we don't read. And again, that's pretty much it here. So now what I want to mention is that by surprise, we still have a headphone jack right here. You can see it, the 3.5mm headphone jack. You have the microphone towards the bottom here. This is the main one. The USB Type-C charging port with 1 loudspeaker. It doesn't have stereo speakers. And no, just like with the previous generation, it doesn't have a notification LED. Here we have that 6.53 inch display, and this one has a 94% screen to body ratio. We just have a very tiny chin on the bottom, barely visible. And here we have the 32 megapixel punch hole camera on the front side. On the very top, you guys can barely see it, but we do have the ear speaker and some sensors, but that's for the face recognition. On the right side here, we have a power key. Now, very interesting, this is also a fingerprint scanner, so that's quite cool. We have the volume rockers up and down, and on the left hand side here we have nothing, and on the top we have nothing as well. And it does have a case already pre-installed on here. The back is made out of glass and it has this protector, but here you guys can see how the cameras are distributed. Let me try to give you better focus. There we go. So we have the 5 megapixel on top, the 48 megapixel in the middle with the LED flash. We have a 5 megapixel sensor camera right here with a 13 wide angle, and I believe this is for background focus or to give you that portrait mode. These two cameras are going to work in conjunction, so that's very cool. And this is what I was mentioning about the SIM tray. Again, you can do 2 SIM cards and the TF card all together, which is again a very nice touch. And this is the IMEI information for the dual SIM, and here we have the back glass. Check that out, guys. It looks very appealing, and I gotta say that it looks of high quality all the way around. So this is a very well built device, I gotta be honest, and it comes with all, you know, the newest goodies like the Android 10 on here, and it has already the Play Store and all these things installed. And the reason I mentioned that is because, as we know, in China some of these things are forbidden, so when you get them directly from China, they do not come with the Play Store. But knowing that this was designed for the US market, that's why they have it on Amazon with the Prime service, well, it does come already with the Play Store, so you don't need to mess with the phone or, you know, try to figure it out or watch videos. It comes already installed there for you. So anyways, let's go ahead here and turn on the device, and it feels very nice and comfortable in the hand. And by the way, there's a screen protector here, and I did scratch it by accident. I had my keys in the pocket and I placed the phone, and when I sat down I kind of thought about it, and when I pulled it out there was a scratch, but that's not on the screen, that's on the protector itself. So it is quite fast booting up already, and we're going to be testing here the fingerprint. I would say that when you grab it with the right hand, it comes kind of natural to place your finger here. But now when it comes to the left hand, sometimes you want to do the index or the, I call it the middle finger. And again, sometimes depending on how you grab it, you might feel that the middle finger is actually better for you. So for that reason, I recorded these 2 fingers and my right thumb. So let's go ahead and enter here my passcode. And from here, we're going to test first the face recognition. Here we have the UI. The screen has very nice colors, even on angles. As you guys can tell, they don't blur, and that's definitely a plus. I mean, I know, again, this is not an OLED or AMOLED display, but the colors are actually quite accurate and they look really nice. And also the response on the screen is very good. And as you guys can tell, the only thing that we have here really making this not a true bezel-less display is the chin on the bottom, but everything else looks pretty nice. I wish that they could make the bottom look like that. That would have been absolutely great. So anyways, guys, let me go ahead and close this up. So here from the lock screen, we're going to be testing first the fingerprint, and you guys can see that it did read it quite fast. So let's lock it again. Let's place the finger, and once again it did unlock very, very fast. So the fingerprint reader is actually quite good, and you do get some misreadings. It all depends on how well you recorded that finger. So I would say out of every 10, you might get 1 misreading, which is still 90% of accuracy right there. So again, I don't have a complaint here when it comes to the fingerprint. The location is quite comfortable, and like I said, if you're grabbing it from the or grabbing it with your left hand, make sure that you record these 2 fingers, and you're going to be much better off that way. Now here for the face recognition, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the device, and you guys can see that it is also quite fast. So it does have a dedicated sensor for that here on the upper right hand side corner. I'm not sure if you guys can maybe see that here through the camera, but it does come on. So it is very similar to Face ID on the iPhone. It actually detects the features of your face, and It doesn't just go by a regular picture. So as I mentioned before, it has the Helio P70 processor, and on a phone like this, it did perform quite well. I mean, I'm not super impressed. Nowadays, a flagship would score like 400,000, 380,000 approximately. I think very impressive there. And I also completed the Geekbench, and this is the latest one also. And if we go here into history, and here you guys can see that for the single core, it did kind of poorly. For the multi-core, it did poorly as well. But again, these numbers don't tell the way the device functions. When you're using this phone, it feels like a premium device. All the social media, as you guys can see, I have them loaded on here. They load up very nice and easy. Price, I gotta say guys, that this is not a bad phone whatsoever. Now I do believe that maybe on Amazon it is a slightly overpriced at $250, but you are getting it with Prime and in about 2 days or so. So on here we have certain settings that again are unique for this device, like Smart Assistant. You have gesture operations, you can do a split screen, but that's something that we have seen before. So at least we have these features on here. We have the storage, and again it's 128 gigabytes, as you guys can see. You can upgrade it, I believe, up to 256, so that's really good. You have location, security, and on security, this is where you will set up your face unlock and your fingerprints. And as you guys can see, I have 3 of them set up, and of course my face. So that's another plus for this device. And if I forget to mention, it comes with NFC. The only thing that is missing is wireless charging. So that's kind of a bummer because I do use wireless charging quite often. It has Dora speed, and this is so that if you guys are not using applications, the phone will automatically kill them for you, so that way you have the most RAM available and the phone stays nice and snappy. So when we go here into about F2 phone, see right here that it has again all the information for the device. And if we continue scrolling down, we're going to be prompted here to the Android version, Android 10. And here we can see it once again, and everything again when it comes to optimization, it is working really well. Now the camera, I know that the camera on paper, it seems like it's an amazing camera, but in reality they haven't optimized it quite well. And sometimes guys, having more pixels doesn't mean that you are getting better quality. So in this particular case, yes, the photos are acceptable. It doesn't have optical image stabilization, but it does have AI, which detects objects and it tries to give you the best picture possible according to what it reads that object is. So we have here things like 48 megapixel. This is basically the wide angle lens, as you guys can see. So if you go back here into photos, you can see now it looks closer. If you go to 48, that's the wide angle right there, and it works great. For the portrait, well, this is more of a gimmick than anything else. I think it has to do more with software type of thing than the actual camera doing the job. So I took a picture of my daughter's bike, and we can go ahead and open it, and you guys can see that yes, it looks okay. I mean, in terms of, yeah, it kind of looks like a portrait picture, but you can tell that on the edges it is all software made just because of the way it looks. I mean, you can easily distinguish between one and the other. So yeah, for that reason, I wasn't hyped up about that particular feature, but it is there, and if you can tweak it and play with it a little bit, I think you can make it look a lot better than I did. So then we have things like panorama, we have night mode as well. So these are all like standard features. For night mode, well, I haven't really tried it, to be honest with you, but again, this camera is not known for great low light pictures. It is mainly for daylight, I would say. For the videos, they look quite smooth. You can only record at 1080p, 30 frames per second. And some people complain that when you do record at 1080p and you play back the video, that it gets a little choppy on the screen itself. And I did notice that as well. I think it has to do with a software glitch. And when you do record in 720p, on the other hand, it is nice and smooth, again, on the playback on your LCD screen. So just keep that in mind. For the front-facing camera, It also carries AI technology, has face recognition, wide angle, and records in 1080p. So the selfies are going to look quite decent, and the colors are quite accurate as well. So on that behalf, I don't have any complaints when it comes to the front-facing camera. And again, we don't have a notification LED light here. Unfortunately, I wish it did. That way, you receive when you're getting a missed phone call, whatever, you can see it. So right now, I am connected here with AT&T, and you guys can see that I'm getting voice over LTE, and the same thing will happen with T-Mobile, Metro PCS, Cricket Wireless. Any of these companies will work fine on this device, and that's another plus, especially again if you live here in the USA. But they are claiming that it has the global band, so most likely if it works here in the USA, it should work fine anywhere around the world. I don't see why not. So just check with your carrier. Again, the link has been provided below, that way you guys can check the bands and verify with your carrier if it's going to work or not. So again, here when it comes to the Google Play services, they are working fine right out of the box. I don't have any complaints whatsoever. Here we have some more Google applications, and again guys, everything's working great. As I mentioned before, we only have one speaker towards the bottom side of the phone, and it's not the greatest. I wish that these budget phones start rolling out stereo speakers as a basic. I think that will make it a lot easier for them to even make more profit, I would say. So I will be okay with the $249 if it has stereo speakers. Let's just say that. So here I'm gonna go ahead and play my latest video, which was about this replica from Amazon, the M35. Go ahead and listen to the quality of the audio, and you guys be the judge. So here we go. What is going on YouTube? Jay here from Maji and Jay. Today, just like the title says, I have a very unusual product here that comes from Amazon with the Prime service, and I'm talking about a phone that really resembles the Huawei Mate 30 Pro. And I've never seen this before on Amazon. This one came with the Prime service, and as you know, Prime is very quick here in the USA for shipment. You only get it usually in 2 days. So as you guys can hear, again, the sound is not really, how can I call this? It's not really going to get your attention in terms of like if you're watching a movie or if you're watching any other type of video. It's not going to really make you feel like you're getting that optimal audio, if I'm explaining that correctly. So this device, again, when it comes to the speakers, it's just going to be the one on the bottom. It is standard, nothing to really brag about. But what I do like about this phone is how the video looks on the screen itself. Again, having this little punch hole and not having the water drop notch or even the bigger notch like on the iPhones, it makes it a lot better to view. And for a moment, when you guys are really looking at the objects on the screen, you kind of forget about that punch hole. Again, giving you a better experience when it comes to watching videos. So there you have it for the loudspeaker. Again, not the best, but it is functional. So software is amazing on it. I don't have any complaints when it comes to that. The service, my signal reception, even right here, you guys can notice that it is perfect, I would say. And even on the Wi-Fi. So if I turn the Wi-Fi on, you guys will see here in a moment that the Wi-Fi reception is also great. So you have voice over Wi-Fi as well, and voice over LTE. And you have the option to insert 2 SIM cards plus a TF card all together without interrupting one or the other, which again is another plus for this device. The fingerprint scanner works absolutely great. Good battery, good NFC connection. I would say it's almost perfect, except that the camera doesn't work well in low light conditions, and it doesn't support 4K. And one thing, it doesn't have optical image stabilization. With this being said, let me know what you guys think on the comment section below about the UMIDIGI F2. Will you purchase it? Will you pass on it, considering that it is 2020? And I think that things will get more competitive as we go along this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. Click on that bell icon, that way you get a notification every time I complete a video. Like this video, share this video, and I'll see you guys on my next one.